Hello and welcome back to our cozy Christmas story. This is the story of Holly, who lives in Christmastown, in a city that is, or a little mountain town that is all cozy and Christmassy. And if you're seeing this part 2, go watch part 1 first. You might understand more of the concept. Tonight is a horrible storm, and the Frost Peak Mountain next door to Christmastown, is blowing snow and wind and trying to destroy Christmas for the people. Creatures and magical Christmas folk who live in this beloved town for an annual Christmas festival. And our intrepid hero and her friends are going to go up on the mountain and find out what's going on tonight. So without further ado, we'll continue our story. They were in the cab of Slashina's Kenworth truck going up the mountain, and we're gonna see. And so let's try to get back into this here. Holly, this is the part I don't know. Like, we're really just riding the truck. Holly watched out of the truck's window the winter road. There were evergreen trees, beautiful evergreen trees. Hope you're all doing good today. Hope you're all having a nice chill time and getting ready for Christmas. We're blanketed with thick snow and blowing in the fierce winds. She wasn't certain how far up the roads would take them into the mountain before they had to get out of the truck and walk the rest of the way. But for now, while they were at the mercy of the winter weather and Slashina's driving skills, Holly thought she might try to lighten the mood a little in the cab of the truck, in the truck cab. What is everyone's favorite thing about Christmas? She asked, coming from a town where Christmas was important all year round, not just, I'm going to get rid of that too so you don't have to, during this week. It was easy for Holly to think about, but she wanted to know what her friends thought. Let's have a little conversation with our pals. Maybe we'll get somewhere. Honestly, 50 rounds of this is too much. And 100 points to save Christmas. I'm gonna change the target when I actually publish this, so don't worry. Slashina glanced over the grin, her hand steadily on the window as the truck climbed. The chaos, honestly. Everything's so nice and orderly in hell most of the year, but Christmas, people get weird. Demons try to be nice, angels let loose a little. It's the one time everyone forgets the rules. She shifted gears smoothly. Plus the food. Can't beat Christmas dinner. Wordsmith leaned forward from the back seat. The stories. Every family has traditions passed down. Tales about how things used to be. Christmas connects us to people we've never met, ancestors, strangers across the world celebrating the same night. Lamla was stroking her familiar who had stopped meowing, baking cookies with excessive amounts of magic sprinkles that definitely aren't FDA approved. And the cats, they get so excited about the wrapping paper and ribbons. Slab's filtered voice came through thoughtful. Honestly, the quiet moments when the fighting stops, even briefly. When people remember there's more to life than conflict. The truck hit a particularly rough patch, bouncing around slightly. Through the windshield, the road up ahead was becoming less defined, more buried under drifts. Suddenly, Lon sat up straight. Wait, do you hear that? The wind. It's almost like singing. Yeah. See, these are like fantasy, idealized versions of my pals, right? I didn't give them full, all like biography descriptions. I just put brief descriptions of what my pals, like, characters are. So it like describes them a certain way, right? It makes Slabs 4 like all about combat. But most of this is pretty much like what I think of people. I love it. Holly listened hard against the truck's engine and the howling wind outside. It was difficult to hear, but Slashina hadn't even turned on the radio yet. Very out of character. So there was no competing music. She tried. Holly wondered where singing would even be coming from. Or maybe it was just a trick of the wind as they started to climb the old mountain roads. We're gonna let it run a little bit. We'll see how far we can get into this. Everyone in the cab fell silent, straining to hear the winds howl. We lost. Did we lose Christmas? We lost Christmas points for this. What? I don't understand why we're gaining and losing these. It's just random. It feels very random. It always feels. The target play on this is weird. Everyone in the cab fell silent, straining to hear the winds howl. Did seem to have a strange quality, rising and falling with a melodic pattern, so the tune was mournful and discordant. Slabs 4 adjusted something in his helmet. I'm picking up acoustic anomalies. It's not random wind patterns. There's a structure to it, like a voice, maybe multiple voices, but distorted. The truck's headlights cut through the swirling snow, illuminating a weathered sign reading Frost Peak Scenic Overlook 2 miles. The road was narrowing with steep drops on one side and sheer rock face on the other. Wordsmith pulled out a small notebook, scribbling quickly. In folklore, winter spirits often communicate through wind and song. If something's upset, the guardian Nora mentioned. Maybe it's trying to tell us what's wrong. The singing grew slightly clearer, definitely not human, with harmonies that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It was quality of deep sadness to it, almost like a lament. Lomlon's familiar suddenly hissed, his first thing on end. The pink-haired witch's eyes widened. My familiar senses strong magic head, really strong, and it's crying. Can magic cry? The temperature gauge in the dashboard dropped another 5 degrees. Whoa. Are we gonna make it? This one might be short. Who knows? I wasn't sure how long it'll actually make me take to get up the mountain. We might have to get out. Holly took note of a temperature gauge and thought about the reindeer and what Nora had told her about her grandmother. Everyone back in Christmastown was counting on her. The old stable keeper, Gus, the innkeeper, the rotund man who had encouraged them, and everyone else who was a resident of that festive town. She couldn't let them down. And she was grateful more than anything tonight that her friends were there with her. She thought of sorrow and hoped that the shy girl was managing to keep spirits high with singing and her general kindness. There, it's gonna get, now my heating kicked on, so I'm gonna have to talk a little bit louder over this, sorry. If there is a mountain spirit up here, we'll have to do everything we can to help it. Holly had no idea what might make such a spirit sad, but she was going to do her own very best and not give up. Christmas ended on it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm supposed to get like points whenever I do, like, whenever she does good things. I guess if they get suffer setbacks, we're supposed to lose points. Oh wow, I just got 10 points for that last part, for saying I'm not gonna give up or whatever. Yeah, that just gave me 10 points. Huh. Slashina nodded, her expression growing more serious as she navigated a particularly treacherous curve. Whatever we're dealing with, it's powerful enough to threaten the entire town's Christmas. This takes serious magical juice. The road suddenly ended in a massive snowdrift that even the Kenworth's impressive tracks couldn't push through. Slashina brought the truck to a stop, the engine idling. This is as far as she goes, so we hike from here. Everyone bundled up and stepped out into the full force of the storm. The wind immediately tried to knock them sideways. Slab's forest armor made him the most stable, and he positioned himself to block some of the wind for the others. The singing was much clearer now, a haughty melody that seemed to come from higher up in the mountains. Through breaks in the snow, they could see what looked like an ice formation glowing pale blue light a half mile up the slope. Lawman pulled out a small vial of shimmering liquid. Warming potion. Everyone take a sip. It will last about 2 hours. She passed it around. As Holly took her sip, the silver bell in her pocket suddenly grew warm against her leg, and singing seemed to shift, acknowledging her presence. Wordsmith pointed up the slope. There's a path, barely visible. It looks like old stone steps under all that snow. Holly felt the warmth spread through her body and glanced up at the blue light. It wasn't far now. The powerful vehicle from her sister, her adoptive sister had carried them most of the way. She felt light, and although this would be the most treacherous part, she wondered if maybe this was a journey she needed to take on her own. You've all been so amazing tonight. I know you don't live in Christmastown, but you've put yourselves at risk to come this far. I wouldn't want any of you to risk any more on my behalf or behalf of the town. Maybe I should take this last part of the journey herself. She suggested, despite the wind that threatened to knock her over, Holly was bundled up in several layers against the storm, the cold, but she was, after all, a slight girl. I'm assuming those come anyway, but I want to see. Celestina immediately grabbed Holly's shoulder, her grip firm but not harsh. Absolutely not. Rule number 1 of being Empress, you never let family face scary magical stuff alone. Her eyes flashed with determination. Besides, I drove all this way. I'm seeing this through. Lomlon stepped forward, her familiar peeking up from her coat. Holly, we're here because we want to be. Christmas magic or not, you're our friend. That means something. Slabs for his helmet tilted slightly. Strategic assessment. Solo mountain climbing in supernatural blizzard conditions has approximately 0% success probability. We move as a unit. See, the Slabs 4 is the one person. They're playing him off more as like a Combine soldier from Half-Life than just a guy. Who I should have given him some more. He's supposed to have a sense of humor. That was like one of the things I said, because that one of my pals is he's probably the funniest one of all of us, really. He has like all these references to things and stuff. Wordsmith adjusted his scarf, snow already accumulating on his shoulders. You're the heart of the mission, Holly. But hearts needs bodies to pump blood through. We're your body. Terrible metaphor, but you get it. Wow. Your body. That's your body. You're gonna have to be healthy. Anyway, the wind suddenly died down for just a moment. In that brief silence, the singing became crystal clear. A woman's voice, ancient and sorrowful, singing in a language none of them recognized. The blue light pulsed in rhythm with the melody. Silverbill and Holly's pocket grew even warmer, almost hot now, and began to emit a soft chiming sound that harmonized with the distant singing. Alright then. Let's go. It's calling us. Holly said, taking a step towards the old stone stairs in the mountain. Mountain, yes. Mountain. She reached into her pocket and pulled the bell out. Holding it in her hand helped fight the cold. And the wind swirling around them. Holly wondered when the last time anyone had come up this mountain was. Did her own grandmother come here and commune with whatever spirit dwelled here? She was in unfamiliar territory, but with her friends close and the memories to guide her, she would do what she needed to do. I don't know. I'm never very good at playing my own characters. Oh no, it stopped. I'm gonna have to go again. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Do I get... My memory's been updated, thank you for that, but I'm trying to regenerate. Yeah, I think I get points every time if I regenerate too. Interesting. Yeah, there. The group began their ascent, with slabs floor taking point to break through the deeper snowdrifts. The stone steps were ancient, worn smooth by centuries of use and weather. Occasionally, Holly could make out carved symbols on the edges, snowflakes, and what looked like reindeer. As they climbed, the bells chiming grew stronger, creating a protective bubble of slightly warmer air around the group. The singing responded, becoming less mournful and more curious. Lon stumbled. Not particularly the icy step, but Wordsmith caught her elbow. These steps are old, really old. Pre-colonial, maybe. Someone's been coming up here for a very long time. Yeah, I mean, this is like Colorado, right? So it's not, it's pre, it wouldn't be colonial. So it's supposed to be saying more, but it did some sort of weird thing where it couldn't continue there again. The blue light was closer now, revealing itself to be emanating from a massive ice cave entrance. The opening was at least 20 feet tall, with icicles hanging crystalline teeth inside. The light pulsed with an ethereal glow. Suddenly the wind stopped completely. The snow hung suspended in the air for a heartbeat before gently drifting down. The eerie sounds, the singing voice spoke clearly. Child of bells. Holly stopped moving in front. Holly stopped moving in front of the cave and stepped forward around her taller friends. She held the silver bell out in her hand toward the entrance. The blue glow falling across her face. I am here, she said aloud, but her voice was questioning, a little unsure. She glanced back at her friends. Stalwart, brave, and maybe a little foolish, all of them, to be attempting something like this. Like this. But they were here now. She was there now. Her voice was more steady as she continued. We're here to help you. May we enter your home? Man, I love this music too. I'm so glad I found this. Why do you think this is NSFW? It shouldn't be. Nothing should be NSFW. What is it trying to do? What is it doing? You're wasting all my points trying to do this, I hope you know. Try something different. Is it trying to describe this person in a way that's like not okay or something? Is that the point? The blue light pulsed brighter. The figure began to materialize at the cave's entrance. She was tall and ethereal, formed of ice and snow, yet somehow alive. It's too bad the Paw Patrol isn't here, I'd realize, because ice and snow can't stop the Paw Patrol. Every time I see ice and snow, that's what I think, anyway. Sorry. Formed of ice and snow, yet somehow alive. Her hair flowed like frozen waterfalls. Her eyes were the pale blue of glacial ice. She wore robes that seemed to be made of winter itself, constantly shifting between solid fabric and swirling snowflakes. The spirit's gaze fixed on Holly, then slipped over her companions. Her expression was ancient and weary. You may enter. You and your companions carry no malice. Her voice echoed like wind through empty valleys. I am Nieves. I don't know. Guardian of Frost Peak, keeper of winter's balance in these mountains. She turned and guided deeper into the cave. Inside, the walls were smooth ice, but reflected the blue light in countless directions. The temperature was cold, but not unbearable, as if the spirit was moderating it for her visitors. The cave opened to a vast chamber, with a frozen pool at its center. Around the pool were more carved symbols, and suspended above it was what looked like a massive snowflake made of pure crystal. It was cracked with dark fissures running through it. Nieves gestured to the damaged crystal. My heart, my connection to the mountain, it is breaking. Holly took in the place. She heard her friends make sounds behind her. Wordsmith taking notes. And Lomlon gasping in awe at the magical nature. Even the more stoic pals seemed humbled by this mystical place. She couldn't help but step forward, still holding the silver bell in her hand. You called me Child of the Bells. Is it Child of the Bells or Child of Bells? Child of Bells. What does that mean? Holly asked, not really sure what to make of all of this. The breaking heart of the spirit of winter was, of the guardian of winter, seemed overwhelming. She hadn't been certain what they might find up on Frost Peak Mountain, but she wasn't really prepared to do anything, prepared for something like this. She looked to Nieves, questioning. What can I do to help? She asked. As always, wanting to open her heart, her own heart, to others. This version of Holly is kind of an idealized version of myself, right? Oh wow, thank you for that. Yeah, it's because I'm in filtered mode, right? Like, I wonder what would happen if I turned it off filtered mode. All right, we're gonna try again because I made this unfiltered. It might have something to do. Oh, it's gonna let me. It's not gonna change to filter. It's gonna change to unfiltered models now. We're gonna have to do Ultra 5 Sonnet unfiltered. That's fine. All the NSFW models are gonna happen now. So that's what we want. We want it. Yeah, it was doing the filtered. Maybe because the character was filtered, it was making me really restricting what I could put on here. So let's try it now. And if it starts going sexual stuff, we'll have to figure something else out. But this shouldn't. I think it's just the whole, like, intimate movements and stuff. Like, I feel like there's some amount of like intimacy and the way the characters are moving and getting closer. I don't know. I was afraid it might be violent stuff it was doing, but we'll see what it's doing here. Naives moved closer to Holly, her form creating gentle frost patterns in the air. She looked down at the silver bell with something like recognition. Your grandmother came to me many times. She understood the old ways, the balance between the town and the mountain, celebration and solitude. The spirit's voice grew softer. She rang that bell here in this chamber during the first Christmas in Christmastown. It blessed the town with eternal winter joy, but also bound us, my magic and your town's spirit intertwined. She gestured at the cracked crystal above the pool. But I have been forgotten. Every year, fewer remember the Christmas is not just lights and gifts. It is also the quiet of winter, the stillness of snow, the peace of cold darkness before dawn. Her expression showed deep pain. The crystal cracks because the balance tips too far towards celebration without reverence for winter's necessity. Wordsmith stepped forward carefully. So, the storm. You're not attacking the town. You're crying out. Navis nodded slowly. I did not mean to threaten them, but my pain, it manifests as storm. I cannot control it when my heart breaks. The spirit looked at Holly with ancient eyes. The bell remembers the old covenant. Perhaps you can renew it. Oh, man. This is such a good story. I love it. I'm glad I fixed it. I'm a little mad. Now I know not to make unfiltered characters, even if I want them to be NSFW free. Which is probably every character I'll make on here, honestly. If I ever make characters. Holly took all of this in. She had lived, had been born and raised in Christmastown. Third generation. Her life, she'd only ever thought of Christmas as a time to celebrate and to embrace and for the town to build revenue by bringing in tourists to enjoy the Christmas festival. This year, she was marshal of that festival, that very festival. But this was something different. She'd never really thought about snows and mountains that made it a white Christmas. They had snow most of the year in Christmastown. So winter's solitude never seemed that special. It all makes sense, she replied to Nevis with a small, gentle smile. I'm so sorry that we've forgotten about you and the balance you bring. She tried to think of a solution. The only thing there was only one thing that came to mind. You said this spell bound you to the town. Should I ring it here you wish to be free of the covenant my grandmother created? I have ideas. I like this kind of mystical stuff. It's fun. Naive's expression shifted, surprise flickering across her icy features. She seemed to consider Holly's words carefully. In a moment, the blue light in the chamber pulsed more gently. Free. I have not considered that path in many years. Spirit's voice carried wonder and uncertainty. She drifted toward the frozen pool, her reflection showing not her current form, but something older and more wild, blizzard-giving consciousness. Before the covenant, I was solitary, powerful, but alone. Your grandmother offered me something precious, connection, purpose, a reason to gentle my storms. Naives turned back to Holly. What connection requires both sides to remember, to tend it like a flame in winter darkness? Lamwan spoke up softly. What if the bell could renew the covenant differently, not break it, but update it? The spirit lifted her head, curious. The stubs for her helmet display flickered. Magical contracts can be renegotiated if both parties consent. The bell is the medium. Holly is the keeper of the town's side. Naives moved closer to Holly's again, studying her face. What would you offer, child of bells? What balance would you propose between celebration and stillness, between town and mountain? Damn. This is... This is some stuff, man. Holly remained thoughtful. It would have been more difficult without her friends there. But those encouraging words and that belief that she was something more than just a silly girl who loved Christmas a little too much. That meant something. What if we rang all the bells in town? What if we had a celebration on nights like this for to express gratefulness to the mountain, to you? Could ring all the bells in town and offer our thanks with song for what winter gives us. I think she suggested in a small voice, and then considered further. I think that Christmas isn't just about celebration. And the gifts. It's about remembering the people who are important to us. And for you, that was my grandmother. I'm sorry we became so separated from each other. And told Nieves, gesturing first around at her friends to make her point, and then stepping closer to the spirit guardian and holding up the silver bell. Ivy's icy form seemed to shimmer for the first time. Something like warmth entered her glacial eyes. I'm not even getting point. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm not getting points anymore. The blue light in the chamber pulsed brighter, more vibrant. A night of stillness and gratitude. Yes, her voice carried less sorrow now. Not to replace the celebration, but to complement it. To remember that joy is sweeter when balanced with peace. That light means more when we honor the darkness that frames it. She reached out with a hand that was solid. Whoa, that sounds so edgy. Light means more when we honor the darkness that frames it. She reached out with a hand that was solid ice, yet somehow gentle, placing over Holly's hand in the bell that held the bell. Your grandmother understood this. She would come here on Christmas Eve before the festivities began and ring the bell in quiet communion. A sad smile crossed Ivy's face. When she passed, no one came. The town grew. The festival expanded, but the stillness was forgotten. The cracked crystal of the pool began to glow more intensely. If you ring the bell now with this new understanding, the covenant will renew, but you must promise, you and those who come after, to remember, one night each year before the celebration peaks, to honor winter's gift of rest and reflection. Wordsmith was scribbling frantically. Lon-Lon's familiar purred softly. Do you accept this balance, child of bells? Sorry, Holly shifted, feeling the warmth of the bell and the coolness of Ivy's hand in contrast against her own, even through thick winter mittens. She nodded, looked up at the mystical creature with wonder. I promise that from tonight onward, we will honor the covenant made here so long ago. You will never be forgotten again. Ivy's spirit, guardian of the mountain. When the spirit released her hand, Holly struck out with the bell, ringing a sharp peal that resounded in the icy chamber. I don't remember what this song is. Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah, making these filtered is the problem. Don't make a filtered thing on here. Even if you want a filtered thing. It is garbage. The sound of the bell rang out pure and clear, echoing through the ice chamber with crystalline perfection. The notes seemed to hang in the air, multiplying and harmonizing until the entire cave sang with it. Above the frozen pool. I should have got points for that. Why did I get no Christmas points for that? That's the winning condition. Above the frozen pool, the cracked crystal suddenly blazed a brilliant blue-white light. The dark fissures began to seal, frost and magic knitting together like living thread. Nivea's gasp sounded like wind through pine branches, and her form solidified, becoming more vibrant and real. The light spread outward from the crystal, racing along the ice walls in patterns that matched the carved symbols. Outside the cave, we could hear the howling storm begin to quiet, the wind's anguished wail transforming into something peaceful and almost musical. Naive straightened, her ancient weariness lifting. She looked younger somehow, though still timeless. The balance. I can feel it, the connection restored. She turned to Holly with genuine warmth. Thank you, child of bells. You have given me back my purpose. Slab's four-helmet display beeped. Temperature stabilizing, storm dissipating rapidly. Christmastown should be clear within the hour. Lomlon's familiar meowed happily, and the pink-haired witch grinned. We did it. Holly still didn't completely understand what had happened there that night. She rang the bell one more time and then pocketed it. Oh, it was in the... Oh my god, this is song. Yes. I love this song. She looked to the spirit with that same curiosity. And asked, did my grandmother... Usually I'm so good at this. Spoke. Is and asked, yeah, I think. Who was my grandmother? I barely knew her. I had no idea she had come here and made this covenant with you. I'm no more a child of Before I go, could you please tell me a little more about her? Her friends were obviously eager to return to the town below, although Holly was certain they were all a little more humbled for having witnessed what occurred here that night. Knives moved gracefully to the edge of the frozen pool. Her reflection showed scenes from the past, her image flickering memories across the ice. Eleanor Winters, that was her name. The spirit's voice grew fond. She came to these mountains as a young woman, drawn by something she could not explain. She had a gift. She could hear the voice of winter itself. In the ice hall, I could see a woman who looked remarkably like her, bundled in old-fashioned winter clothing, climbing these very steps. She understood the celebration without reverence becomes hollow. That a town built on Christmas magic needed roots deeper than commerce and lights. Neves gestured, and the images shifted to Eleanor standing in the very chamber, much younger, holding the same silver bell. She proposed this covenant that I would bless the town with perfect winter conditions, and in return the town would remember the sacred stillness that makes joy possible. The image showed Eleanor ringing the bell, laughing as snow swirled gently around her. She visited every Christmas Eve for 40 years. She would sit here, tell me about the town, about you. Her granddaughter loved Christmas with such pure heart. Naves looked at Holly directly. She knew you would come eventually. She lifted the bell. Sorry, this is getting me. I hate it. It's just a dumb story that an AI is writing, that I'm helping an AI write. And the music doesn't help. Oh, sorry. I love this kind of stuff. This is better than any Hallmark Channel original movie. I hope you're enjoying this too. We're almost done. We're going to go back and celebrate. It was incredible. Holly Winters had no idea. Holly's name had changed when her mother had married outside of Christmastown. But she had always thought she could hear the singing on cold, clear winter nights. She smiled at the spirit and spoke in a clearer voice now, full of the warmth of these memories. Then I will do that as well. Every Christmas Eve, we'll have our own kind of celebration while the town is remembering what gifts winter brings to us. I can't wait to go to the snow. I'm gonna be in a nice snowy forest for most of Christmas, and it will be beautiful, exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. It's healing for the soul. I've been in places like this, you know, not mountainsides, but like just forests and rocky cliffs and places in the winter that spoke of old ancient times like this. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And no one will forget you again. She stood and after that, fully stretching, and looked to her companions. We should probably get back. The town will be wondering if we're all right. Neves bowed her head gracefully, the gesture filled with genuine gratitude. Go with winter's blessing, all of you. The storms be gentle now, and the snow will fall soft for your celebration. She looked at Holly's friends in turn. You have my thanks as well for standing beside her. True friendship is its own kind of magic. As the group turned to leave, the spirit's voice called out one last time. Holly Winters, your grandmother would be proud. The journey down the mountain was remarkably easier. The wind had died to a gentle breeze, and the snow fell in lazy, picturesque flakes. Slab's forehead led the way, his arms, lights cutting through the darkness. Worthmas was already composing. This is going to make an incredible story. The night winter remembered. When they reached the truck, Celestina fired up the camera with a satisfied grin. Now that's a Christmas Eve adventure. Beats sitting in traffic on the 405. Ha! Walnut's familiar girl. Lara laughed very contentedly. I can't wait to tell Sarah about the ice skate. She would have loved the acoustics for singing. As they descended toward the Christmastown, they could see the lights twinkling below, brighter now, more vibrant as if the town itself were a renewed covenant. I think we might actually leave it off there. I'm not going to do "and the moral of the story is." I was going to go back and have them find the town and celebrate Christmas and do all that stuff, but this actually feels like a better place just to leave it off. The AI does such a good job of writing these little vignettes, like, and then such and such thing, and you thought about the future, and I have limited time today too, so this is probably good for me to stop here. Thank you for coming along with me on this adventure. This has been beautiful to write, and I hope that you all are having a wonderful Christmas yourself, and remembering that to be reverent towards the winter, because without winter, we wouldn't have Christmas. I guess. I mean, it's kind of. I know some places don't have snow, they don't have storms, they don't have any of this stuff, but there's still a certain joy to be found in peace and stillness, I guess, is what we really take away from this. So remember that. Try to be reverent and still. And we'll see you in anything else that we do in the future. Merry Christmas, and take care of each other.